Gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, I'm what you need. You're watching my channel. If you like what you see, don't forget you can comment, share, subscribe, donate via Western Union. Let's get into it. So first of all, an update. Jose Santa Cruz, who is Leo Santa Cruz's father, I haven't seen any reports that he's dead anywhere. So I have to believe that he is okay, which is a good thing. We still get to see Tank versus Leo. Nobody's getting buried so far. With respect to fights for this coming weekend, there's not really any great fights for us to really talk about. It was supposed to be Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., but that fight didn't come off. It's going to actually happen more in November, so we'll look forward to that. But over this weekend, I started looking at some fights that were out there, and I saw that we had Anthony Yarde, who came back after his loss to Sergey Kovalev, and he had a fight with Spelman. Now, what's interesting to me about this fight particularly is that this fight was one in which the commentators really dominated the fight. What I mean by that is they had their own point of view of how this fight was going down, and they stayed with their point of view on the fight. And to me, it was nothing like what the fight was, which is interesting. That's why I said commentators can sway an audience. And we saw that with the Jamel Herring versus Oquendo fight, in which people said that Jamel Herring quit, which he did not. Okay. He did not quit in that fight. And in fact, if I were to say anything, I would say that because he couldn't see in his eye, which he had an old injury in there that caused the blurring, he made the right decision, because he would have taken more damage to his eye, and who knows what would have happened if he continued onward. So he made the right decision at the right time in that fight. And I always advise people, your health comes first. And yeah, you could still win the fight because he was winning it clearly to me. But your health comes first, okay? All right, let's talk about, therefore, a fight that I looked at, which was Anthony Yarde versus Spelman. That fight, the commentators were saying that Spelman won the first round, and, Spelman was doing well. And all of a sudden, Anthony Yarde went through the gears in the sixth round, and he knocked down Spelman, and then, the fight was ended too early. It was a controversial ending of the fight. Let me just tell you guys what happened, okay? Round one, Anthony Yarde won that because he was landing jabs to the pit of Spelman. He started working Spelman's body early, and then in round two, Spelman was backing him up in round one. In round two, Anthony Yarde took control, and he was actually walking Spelman down for the rest of the fight. Okay? His most effective shot at first was the jab to the body. Spelman was at first landing a double jab. He would not really catch Anthony Yarde with the double jab, and he would throw his combinations. Most of the stuff was picked off and blocked. But most importantly, later on in the fight, Anthony Yarde started landing the right hand. He wasn't landing it early at all. Clean right hands to the head, clean right hands to the spleen. In the sixth round, he hurt Spelman with a body shot. So he was throwing body shots, he was throwing head shots. And in the sixth round, he landed a left hook to the body. And that's what hurt Spelman, and that's what started the whole thing. And Spelman actually had no feet under him when Anthony Yarde hit him with a double right hand. So he used the right hand lead, double right hand, and then he tried a right cross, but he missed. And Spelman voluntarily took a knee. He had taken so much punishment, his nose was bleeding, he voluntarily took a knee. But he had difficulty getting back up. He was groggy, and so the referee saw his face, his eyes, and he said, "No more for you." And that was that, okay? And it's ironic that these commentators were saying that, that fight should have gone on more. Now, I'm not against it going on more, but the guy was taking a beating at that point. And he would have just taken more of a beating. As tough as he is, and I hate when people talk about this guy was very tough. It tells me that he's taking punishment. That's not cool, okay? You don't have a long career taking punishment. You should have better defense. Even Julio Cesar Chavez and Canelo Alvarez, these guys, they know how to roll and ride punches. So even when you think you hit them clean with a shot, they're riding their head, and Spelman wasn't doing none of that stuff. So he was just taking a beating, and he would have just taken more of a beating. The commentators say he would have made it out the round. I don't even see that happening. He wouldn't have probably not made it out of the round, because Anthony Yarde was really crashing him. So anyway, at the end of the day, all I'm saying to you guys is that you have to watch the fights for yourself and judge the fights for yourself. These commentators sometimes are so biased for reasons unknown to me. They might be feel that Anthony Yarde, since he was knocked out by Sergey Kovalev, this guy could maybe do it. And the guy was successful at keeping Anthony Bay, pushing him back in the first round with the double jab. But by round 2, Anthony Yarde adapted to that. And in the meantime, he was sneaking in jabs to the pit area. So I didn't even have Spelman winning a single round. And I really couldn't care less that he was tough. Toughness does not win fights. It's your game plan, strategy, being able to hit your opponent, and also having proper defense. So that's how I look at it. When you tell a fighter, oh man, you have a hell of a chin, that's not a compliment, okay? This is things in boxing you need to understand. That means if you have a hell of a chin, it means you got hit on the chin with a money punch. And in boxing, if you're thinking from a boxing perspective, that's not a good thing to tell somebody. It's nice that you got a chin and you didn't get knocked out, but it's not a compliment. You're telling the guy he's got holes in his defense, and it's only his chin that's holding him up. And everybody knows, no matter how hard your chin is, it can get broken. Ask Ricky Hatton, ask Roberto Duran, who was stopped by Thomas Hearns, okay? And then stopped by, what's the guy's name? It'll come to me. William Joppy, okay? He been stopped by different guys. They crash him and stop him. You know why? It's because you can't depend on your chin. A chin's not going to stay perfect forever. Ask Manny Pacquiao. He got a hell of a chin. Marquez put him to sleep, okay? Test that chin. And the chin couldn't hold up, okay? So you cannot depend on your chin. It's supposed to be like, if everything else failed, hopefully your chin can keep you up. That's desperation times. That's not supposed to be sounding like that. That's bad on you. You're supposed to have defense to handle that. You know, Gennady Golovkin don't depend on his chin. Okay, he roll punches. Okay, he ride punches. You know, as you throwing a punch, he ride with a punch. Okay, Canelo, same thing. It's not that he has a hell of a chin, it's that he uses his defense to keep him alive and keep him going. Anyway, I'm what you need in the building. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.